I was speaking with one of my clients early, and I have a number of clients that are, over the age of 50, quite a few of them over the age of 60. And so I get to, of course, with everybody, I get a chance to really see perspectives that are different, and that's where the learning comes from. But, I think about, those that are close to me that are living with illness and sicknesses and different diagnoses and on long-term medications, and it's a challenge. I mean, if I didn't have the Lord to consistently give me hope, every day it gives me hope moment by moment to take that next step, to keep going, to give me a vision for the future. If I didn't have that, I don't know what I'd be right now. And I know for you it's probably similar, maybe whether you have a child, or a grandchild, or whoever that's suffering, even, not just physically, but in any way they're suffering. But there are things that they can do to end the suffering, but they don't do it. And just think about how that feels on the inside. That type of pain, can, like I said, if I didn't have the Lord, it would be, I would feel hopeless, powerless, And I want you to consider that, and then think about your own health, the decisions you make for yourself. That's one of the things that comes to mind, and even so more so lately is, when we make a decision, the decision is not just for ourselves. That decision is for other people that are around us and people we haven't even met. I was listening to a message earlier, and the pastor was talking about how, those that went before you, they set the groundwork. They laid the foundation to where you're at. And to not just appreciate those things, and to show that appreciation and gratitude by actually fulfilling what you have to give, what you have to offer, for utilizing that to now continue to pass that on by doing your part, by doing what you were designed to do, whatever your gifting or calling is, just fully doing it. And I thought about, health and fitness, and just how challenging it's been to see loved ones in that situation, and how you can use that as a motivation to do what you need to do as far as your health. How many times have I made decisions as far as what to eat, or how I was supporting my body? I'll get a thought about one of my clients, or I'll get a thought about one of my little nieces or nephews. I saw this one little picture before. This picture, it had a lady was doing push-ups, and it really just kind of it really touched me. And there was around the corner a little, person, assumed it was maybe like a 4-year-old or whatever. And they were watching the lady while she was exercising. They were peeking around the corner. And I think that the words on there, what was written on there, said something to the effect of, you don't know who's watching, And that's what I'm saying now, is that we're not just doing it for ourselves. You're not taking care of your health just to get summer ready. It's so much more. I mean, I remember we went to the pumpkin patch, and I had my father there, and my nieces, and they were there. They were little. My nieces, they were there. They were little, probably 4 and 5, somewhere around there, 6 or whatever. And it was great. However, my daddy couldn't walk that distance. How many times we tried to go somewhere, we couldn't really enjoy it, because we had to find out, well, can we maneuver the wheelchair or the walker, or can you? And our enjoyment at that time, thank God it was still there. I love that memory when I think back on it. However, how much better would it have been if he had his strength, and instead of being pushed in a wheelchair, which he probably definitely didn't want to be, we want to sit when we desire to sit, It's like, oh, it's a beautiful day, I'm going to sit down and take it in. Not, I have to sit down because I can't take those steps, or my legs can't hold me. Our body is supposed to function a certain way, not just for the aesthetics, or to enjoy sports, or to show people, look at what I can do with my body. No, that's not at all why it function is designed to function that way, so that we can do life, so that when I feel overjoyed to see my niece and just want to run to her and hug her, I have the strength to do it. When I want to go and make something or build something, my dad was really, really, really strong, and he wasn't into working out at the gym or nothing. I'm built like him. I remember when my mom told me about one time, and he probably did this more than once, to where she was having really bad labor pains. And she talked about how he went and picked her up with the big belly and the baby, and how easy it was. And so he was able to do that because his body was able to do it. He was able to show that love and assistance because his body can do it. And these are the things that are most important. I mean, if you want to walk on the beach, go walk on the beach. Not, oh, I can't do it. Grandpa can't. You can't push no wheelchair on the beach. It's hard. These things are challenging. It's okay. We show that love, we make do. But if you're able to be in a position to where you can avoid that, why not? And so let's start looking at it that way. See it for what it is. See it for that act of love. And so don't just exercise because, hey. No, let's exercise because, wow, when this person was sick, I could help them up. I used to be so insecure. I mean, part of my testimony is just this extreme negative perspective of my athletic build. I love to be active and moved. I just love the way that it felt to run barefoot and to play tag and to jump and do these things. I loved it, but I hated the fact that I had calves and I wasn't, this was not me going to the gym. This was me as a child in elementary school. I said, what is that at the back of my leg? It was a hamstring. You could see these hamstrings. People asking you and telling you that you play certain sports that you don't play because they're just looking at you. Well, you might say that's not a negative thing. And you're right. It wasn't a negative thing. It's just the way God built me. But I was so challenged because I didn't look like the other girls. I was like, well, I don't look like anybody. And so later on, God just showed me how, okay, this is part of how I'm going to have you maneuver. This is why. And I saw those things. And even recently, when I look at, I say recently, but 2018, when my brother had the accident and I literally could pick up my brother. This is my older brother. I could pick him up, put him on the couch, change his garments and all of that. And these things are happening, and God is showing me the exact opposite of what I was thinking. So I was hating myself because of the aesthetics, but I wasn't even considering the function. Well, if I didn't have the strength, which is what God gave me, and it ended up me looking that way, okay? But if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I remember even moving and picking up my dad, which was completely out of this world for me to think. I used to look at my dad and the hands were just massive. But then on the other end, I was loading the car with wheelchairs and walkers and carrying this and that. I was able to do that because my body was functioning the way that God designed it. And that's what exercise is for. So we can show that love to our loved ones when they need it. So I could have taken what was on the inside of my heart and freely did it. That's what the deadlifts were for. That's what the box jumps were for. That's what the bleachers were for. That's what all of that was for. That's what the pull-ups was for. It wasn't for the competition. It wasn't for a trophy for the figure. No, all of those things happened because my body was functioning the way that it was supposed to function, the way God designed it to function. And so I'm asking you all today, change your perspective. Yeah, all the other stuff is going to come. Your husband and your family, y'all have fun wearing different outfits. That's great. But that's not the most important thing is being able to utilize your body and to do the thing that God put you here. And the body was designed to regenerate and to function, to move, for joints to work. And so whatever it is that you're designed to do, your giftings, now start to take care of your body, your health, do resistance training, exercise, so that you can fully express love. That sounds good to me, y'all. I hope that was helpful. Have a blessed day.